In recent times, just a couple of days or weeks ago, the president of the United States, Donald Trump, suspended US aid, and the reactions that followed, not even from his own America, but especially from Africa, was embarrassing. I found it extremely embarrassing. People are so outraged. Oh, why are you stopping the aid? You are helping us, caring for our sick people, people who have HIV/AIDS. USAID has been doing it. Why is he stopping it? Our people will now begin to die, and all that, and all that, and all that. I was thoroughly embarrassed for Africa, terribly embarrassed. Here you are complaining that another president is stopping the AIDS in his own country, and you are crying in your own country because you have depended on that. You have this sense of entitlement that you forget that he is the president of the United States of America, not the president of Nigeria or South Africa or Zambia. I don't know. And people can reason it out in so many ways, but I just found that very, very embarrassing. You are depending on the handout from another country to solve your own problem in your own country. And so it's not just a national problem. I also found that this is that in recent times, the sense of entitlement in the African society, the sense of entitlement in our society is very, very frightening. It's very frightening. Young people just stay at home doing nothing, but they're waiting for destiny helper. And then they see you making some effort. They don't want to make effort, for themselves, but they are looking at you. They feel entitled, to your own success. I have never seen anything like it. The sense of entitlement is frightening. It's embarrassing. People no longer want to work. People no longer understand that expression about self-reliance. But everybody is waiting for someone who is doing very well. They feel entitled. Then they start making you feel guilty if you are not sharing. Sharing, because sharing is the key word right now. So I have been wondering how we got to this situation in Africa, because it wasn't like that when I was growing up. At least in my part of the world, it was not like that. People made effort. People made effort to be self-reliant. And begging in my village, I'm not talking about other parts of the world. In my village growing up, begging was an abomination. Begging was the height of, like, all the height of family shame. But today, begging is so mainstream. Begging is accepted. People just see to able-bodied people. And then sometimes you go to the cities, you see able-bodied people. They have nothing is wrong with them. They caught one woman the other day who was pretending to be blind. And that's what she does every day. She pretends to be blind. Then she has her little daughter lead her around begging for money. Full body able woman. And people do it. And then I also know about a particular guy that used to beg somewhere in Maryland, in Lagos. He was crippled. He was on wheelchair. But people who knew him did some research and found that this guy was very wealthy in the suburb where he lived, that he had houses. So you see, people prey on the consciences, on the goodwill of people, and take advantage of the society and all that, because we've conditioned ourselves to be a shameless society. People who are not ashamed of begging. Begging should be like, I don't know. It's not even like the last resort, but people think it is normal. So I want us today to address, because in my work, yesterday somebody said, please teach us about stock market, teach us about building wealth and all that. These are the problems, keeping people. These are the barriers keeping people in this part of the world, in Africa, from growing rich, from building. And I believe that self-reliance should be your watchword. Self-reliance. It's okay to bring yourself to the point that begging you should be ashamed to beg. Of course, there's a difference between asking and begging. They are not the same thing. It's a difference between asking and begging. So there was a time I struggled to pay my children's school fees, and then there was no money anywhere, no income, to make that happen. But I had skills. So I approached a gentleman, who was well-to-do, and I said, I have an obligation, that I needed to meet. And this is what I do. Can I provide you this service so that I can earn some income to meet my obligation? I said, I'm not asking you for money. You need this service. I have the skills. So would you let me serve you and solve this problem for your organization? That's asking. It's different from begging. But people go around begging, shamelessly, and they don't find anything wrong with begging. So I want to talk about this issue today and then talk about self-reliance. And then I will address one particular twisted idea that started in the religious circles and then it sort of has become mainstream. So if I'm to give today's coaching session a topic or a focus, it would be, no one is coming to save you. The lies of destiny helpers and the death trap of entitlement. So there's so much to unpack here. There is the fact that you need to understand that ultimately you are responsible. You have to bear the responsibility for your financial success. You have to bear the responsibility for the results you want in your life. The very first step to financial success is responsibility, taking responsibility. Everybody, please type it in the comment section and type it in the chat. The very first step to financial success is taking personal responsibility. Please type it. I can pause for 30 seconds to have everyone type it because I really want you to sink deep. The very first step to financial success is taking personal responsibility. No one is coming to save you. It's a lie. They lie to you. There is some truth about the so-called destiny helper, but it's twisted. And I'm going to tell you why it's twisted. People wait because of what apostles are teaching them about destiny helper. And, if it comes from apostle, then it must be right. If it comes from apostle and then he speaks powerfully and all that, then it must be right. But it's destroying you. It's destroying you because it's twisted. And then you find people, young, able-bodied people, graduates who are waiting at home. And then do you know the prayers every day? Father, as I step out today, let me meet my destiny helper. Oh, let me meet my destiny helper. So that the destiny helper can come and then all of a sudden, and then they will back it up with all kinds of stories. Oh, there was one man, he was sick, or he was at the airport, and then he was selling suya. And then this Alhaji came and said, how much suya do you have? How much suya can you produce? We have a program, and then we have 1 million people coming. How much suya can you produce? Okay, this is 500 million naira. Take it and go. And then, oh, destiny helper, destiny helper. So what's the cause, of all these problems? Because it is standing on the way, to people getting rich, and is making people dependent on other people. It's making people dependent. is not allowing people to pursue their own financial success, but they are depending on you. They are depending on me, and they're looking at me. The number of DMs I receive of people begging for money, girls, men begging for money. Oh, I'm married. I have 4 children. We don't have food in our house. Please, anything. Just give us anything. The other one, oh, I'm sick. I have been sick for several months. I can't even get out of the house. Please, this is my bank account. Any amount. How bad? This one, I'm a young girl. I'm from Imo State, and all that. Please, anything you give me, this is my bank account, even if it's 1,000 naira. This is horrible. Where are we going with this? Where in the world are we going with this? This is not how our, grandparents brought us up. We were brought up to take responsibility, take personal responsibility for our success, not to depend on other people, not to go around, begging. Yeah, we do fall to hard times. We do fall to hard times, but the hard times actually come to teach us to be resilient, to teach us to solve our problems. The late Andre Crouch wrote a song, and I can never forget that song. I heard it for the first time in the 1980s, about mid-1980s. He said, if I never had a problem, I would never know that he could solve them, talking about God. And I will never know what faith in God can do. That you are given a problem does not automatically mean you should start begging, enter the street, start begging, get into people's DMs, and then start begging them, and then start guilt shaming them. Well, they do not know what people are going through. People are asking me, they do not know what I'm going through. So you're making assumptions on other people's wealth. You are making assumptions on my bank account. How can you make assumptions? It's like I have money, I have 1 billion naira hidden somewhere under my bed that once you beg me, I have it. If you don't give it to me, you're a wicked man. Oh, total strangers who are not related to me in any way. They make assumptions of my wealth. You're a billionaire. You have money under your bed. Give it to me. I have children to feed. You have children to feed. What did you think before when you were making the children? That who will feed them for you? Goodness gracious. What I see in Africa, I'm shocked. I'm shocked. Why are you making assumptions on other people's money? So somebody posted something about this entitlement thing, and then a girl said, leave that thing. If you don't help me, the way she put it, if you don't help me, then I will throw you away. You're a wicked person. So I quietly asked her, how do you know that? She said, if you are capable to help me and you don't help me, I will throw you away. Whoa! What an entitlement. What an entitlement. So I asked her, how do you know that he is capable to help you? She said, I know my friends. I said, you know your friends, you know them so well, including their private bank account, the privacy of their finances. You know them to that extent. She said, yes, I know my friend. I know what I'm talking. I know my friends. So you know your friends, and then you're making assumptions on their finances. Wow. And then somebody comes to ask me for such and such a number of millions. You do not know what I'm going through. You do not know, relations who also have. So you think everybody just trouble-free, that you are the only one who has financial problem. So this is wrong. I don't know if you guys are picking how terrible this thing is and how this thing is dealing with our people. It's creating so much poverty. So much poverty. You have people who don't take responsibility for their lives, and they are making themselves the responsibility of other people. People who don't take responsibility for their families. And they are using the fact that they are married and they have children to guilt me into taking care of their children. Look, let me take a pause. Has it happened? YouTube, Facebook, TikTok, Zoom. Tell me, am I just ranting or has this thing happened to you? So let me take a moment. Has this happened to you? What I'm talking about? Say so. Where people are placing expectations on you, and in fact, even getting angry that you did not help them. That word help, I hate it. I hate it for the way people just go, help me, help me. What is help you? Help me, help me. Total stranger, help me, help me. What is help you? What are you doing? So you come, help me, help. You know, you're not saying, this is what I'm doing. This is the challenge. This is how I have tried to solve this problem, and it hasn't worked. This is what I'm trying right now, and I will need your advice, and I will need your help too. No, they don't tell you that. They just come into your DM. My mother is sick. I don't know who your mother is. I don't know who you are. He's sick. How do I even trust the story you're telling me? Oh, they're looking for 3.5 million. That you only have one, or you only have 50,000 naira with you. So you're looking for so million. Please help me. That thing is so annoying. It just makes lots of assumptions. Number one, you are assuming that I have that money waiting for you. You are assuming two, that I do not have my own financial problems. You are assuming three, I don't have relations and friends. You, a total stranger from nowhere, just come and tell me stories and say, help you. We need to change this. It's very dangerous. And it's because of these very sick expectations that we are having so much crime. So much crime in the society because people are assuming that you are wealthy and that you don't want to bring their money. So what happens the next time somebody is kidnapping somebody, or they come to rob you, and then somebody was spreading this rumor. I didn't know how this guy just went and told people that I have 10 billion naira. This thing is sickening and it's frightening that I have 10 billion naira anyway. He's not my banker. He doesn't manage my wealth. We do not talk. I do not discuss anything. And I've never come to the online. You guys have never seen me online telling you that I have money, because I do not. And I'm very transparent. I've been telling everybody. And you went around telling people that I had 10 billion. Where did it come from? And then when people talk, they believe them. And then can you imagine if the bad boys hear that and then they come to visit, give us 500 million from your 10 billion, give us 1 billion, and you tell them that you do not have it. Do you see where I'm going? So it's creating lots of problems. People are not taking responsibility for their lives. Now, they feel that you have it and they don't have it. And if you are doing this to your politicians, it's a different thing. If you're actually doing this thing to your politicians, you're kidnapping them, you're visiting them to steal, to rob them, because it's actually your money that they have. It's a different thing. But you come to a private citizen. I'm not in government. Government gives me nothing. I don't do any business with them. They don't pay taxes to me. I don't even do any contract for government. I'm not in politics. Where is the 10 billion that belongs to you? So why don't you go to the politicians? Why don't you go to the politicians who are robbing, to your local government chairman, your politicians who are robbing you dry? Why don't you go to them and tell them, give me this money? And then if you are, whatever, God forbid, kidnapping, why don't you kidnap the people who have your money? You're going to private citizens who are suffering like you in the same economic, economic doldrum. We are all in it together. And then you now go to bleed those people. So this thing has got to stop. If you are one of the people who feel entitled to your uncle, to your friends, to your other people, stop it. Create your own success. Take responsibility for your journey. Many of you see me online. You see what I'm doing. Nobody's coming to save me. Nobody's giving me anything. You see me, I'm driving around the whole place. I'm doing palm oil. I'm doing fufu. I'm here every evening teaching the world, teaching you, sharing. I'm consulting. I'm coaching. I'm doing that. Because I took responsibility because nobody's coming to save me. My retirement and then my wife's retirement is our responsibility. It's nobody's responsibility. So we have to do something about it. Then you don't do the same thing. You are not making any effort, but you're now coming to me. You're feeling entitled and then making me feel guilty for not helping you. Why must it be someone else helping you? Why don't you think about helping other people? Why is it not you helping? Every day as I drive out, there are some people, they just, chairman. This one called me the other day, senior man, we hail you. Anything for the boys today. That thing is horrible. That thing is horrible. Why do you make yourself, like that? They hail. And then I have this people in our estate in Lagos, people who have been working there as gate men. Gate men. We moved into that estate in 2006. They have been gate men since 2006. I met them there. We moved into that estate in 2006. They were there before we moved in. These guys are still there. They've grown old. Right before my presence, doing the same thing, opening gates, looking at cars coming in, and then closing gate. And these guys they have now gotten to their 60s. Because when I met them, they were, like, must have been like my age or a little older than me. So now they are hitting their mid-60s. That is what they are doing. So they stay there, chairman, Oga, and they call you all kinds of names. One started calling me man of God. They just hail you so they can drop something for them. What a way to live. And then most of us people driving in there are people young enough to be your children. You'll be hailing them. Chairman, senior man, your boys, they here. Waiting you get for us. Oh, that's what you spend your entire destiny doing. It's wrong. It's wrong. So if there's a central message today is take personal responsibility for your success. Stop depending on other people. You see, as you're taking personal responsibility, they support, all the support you need come to you while you are there. I get lots of support. And I'm getting lots of support, from people because I'm in the way. And then what I'm doing is drawing the support. I'm not just sitting down somewhere and say, okay, I need to wait for Destiny Helper to come first before I move. No, you move and then the support has come. Okay, type in the comment section. What do you think? Do you have any question? What do you think? What do you think? Type in the comment section. Hello, Tim Becky in TikTok. Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. So guys, I know I'm sounding I'm sounding I'm sounding like the way I'm sounding. You can tell that this is something very, it's not just enough coming here giving you tactics, but we have to attack the spiritual and psychological barriers keeping our people in poverty. This is the biggest one. This entitlement thing is the biggest one. And I keep asking myself, how did these things come? And then there are several root causes I'm thinking about. One is distorted religious teachings. There's this distorted religious teaching, of Destiny Helper flying around the whole place. And so because of it, people, rather than take responsibility through your own diligence, through developing your own skills, through making strategic efforts, they just sit down. And then the common prayers I hear in Nigeria, God, when? Hey, God, when? If you've ever prayed that prayer, you need to smack yourself. Which one is God when? God when? Then somebody says, okay, I just did a job, a freelancing job or copywriting job, and then I got that copywriting job. They paid me in dollars. By the time I converted it, I was able to buy a car. Then what you start seeing under God, when? When is my turn? When is my own? Whoa! Who did this to us? Like they say, God, when? What kind of prayer is that? You have hands, you have eyes, you have head, you have brain, you can think, you can create something, you can make something, and you're sitting down asking God when. Continue asking God when. People literally ask God when until they bury them, until they die. God when? What kind of prayer is that? So there's that distortion. There is also these cultural expectations. So many parts of Africa, when one person succeeds, there's a lot of expectation that, those people must carry everyone around them, whether or not the people are willing to work. Saddening stories I hear every day. A guy is 50-something years old, the only male in the family is the last born, meaning that the other ones, the older sisters, have grown. No, he's not the last born. I think there's still someone younger than him. This guy has never worked. And then the sisters are sending him money in the village every single month. And when the money doesn't come, he flares up at 50-something. When I heard that, and he's going around the village committing all kinds of atrocities and doing all kinds of things. Is this not a problem? So that cultural expectation is there. There's also poverty and desperation. So I agree that economic opportunities, not a lot of people have economic opportunities, but that's a different conversation because you can create opportunity. There are actually opportunities around us. But you see, when there's poverty and there's desperation, people don't see opportunity. So it has driven some to see other people's success as their only ticket. So instead of learning from what the people who are successful are doing, instead of learning what you are doing or learning what I'm doing, they just expect to be sponsored or bailed out. So there's so much desperation and poverty in the system. And Nigeria has been named the poverty capital of the world. But what the poor people need to do is to learn what the people who have escaped poverty are doing so that they can model the same thing and come out of poverty. No. You hear, please, sir, I'm a talented musician in Port Harcourt. I've written 1,000 songs, but I don't have anybody to sponsor me. Whoa! I don't have anybody to sponsor me. 1 year, 2 years, 3 years, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 years. You're still waiting for someone to sponsor you. I think the other thing is the broken system. Broken systems. Government has failed to create an enabling environment where hard work reliably leads to prosperity, to success. In our country, hard work does not necessarily count. Often, the most lucrative job or the most lucrative career in Nigeria, many poor countries, is politics. And then once someone gets in politics, it's not for the people, but it's just their people, the family, their friends, their whatever. That's all. Somebody becomes a governor, he appoints his father, makes his father something, makes his younger brother something, special advisor on something, makes his, for the wife is already first lady, makes his cousin, and that's it. So the system is broken. It's not really by merit. People are not being appointed by merit. And so I think it's also part of the problem and the consequences. All these things we're looking at: kidnapping, fraud, extortion. Because if people believe that they are entitled to someone else's wealth, it's a short jump, to take it by any means. So many times that's what people think. They feel that they feel these people who do commit all these horrible crimes. So they feel like, because they feel entitled, they feel that your success has denied them their own success. How? So they feel entitled to stop bosses, kidnap people who are going on their journey, and then demand ransom. There's also family and societal pressure. Successful people are constantly harassed by relatives and friends who feel owed. I remember a couple of years ago, when my father was still alive, a relation was going around telling everybody that he was the one who trained me in school. He was the one who sponsored me, who paid my school fees. Huge lie. I don't know how people can eat with conscience, because the field old boy has succeeded, he's graduated, he's got a job in Shell and things like that. So then he goes around behind my back. It was someone telling them that he said he heard him boasting somewhere that he was the one who trained me. So they feel owed. So that is there. It's also a big consequence. And then the other consequence of this entitlement mentality is lack of initiative and self-development. Many people will rather wait for a destiny helper than to become one. If only we can turn the table around. And so instead of waiting for destiny helper, we become one ourselves, everything will change. There's also corrupt leadership mindset. Politicians reflect this mentality, seeing national wealth as something to be grabbed, not something to be built. So what's the solution to all this? I've already said number one is personal responsibility. You must embrace that truth that nobody is coming to save you. And then you also have to tell yourself that nobody is owing you. We need to shout it all over the social media until people grab it. No one is owing you. Tell yourself, no one is owing me. Nobody is owing me. Not even your father or your mother, not your uncle. Everybody has his own spirit. Everybody's, has his own spirit, soul, body. Everybody has their own purpose. Everybody has their own, your skills, your provision, your opportunities. Nobody is owing you. Nobody is owing you. Type it in the comment section. Nobody is owing me. Everybody, type it in the comment section and in the chat. Nobody is owing me. Nobody is owing me. Even the universe does not owe you. Nobody is owing you. Until you come to that personal conviction, then if you go around believing that people owe you, believing that the customers owe you, some people who run businesses even believe that customers owe them because you started the business. The customers should be coming to buy from you. No, it doesn't work like that. You've got to run it in such a way that they would love to come to buy from you. Nobody's owing you. And then, so that solution is just a mindset shift that you are taking personal responsibility. Nobody is owing you. And therefore, hard work, learning, and strategy will do more for you than endless prayers. I pray. I fellowship with God 24/7. I talk with God. I pray. So I don't have any problem with prayer. But when I look at the prayer, what people call prayer, that they're praying online, and then you've been praying, doing all those so-called spiritual warfare, 10 years in that your church and in that your prayer, your life has not changed. Every time you go for this Holy Ghost, this Holy Ghost, this anointing, this anointing, and then your financial situation, which is what you're basically going and looking for solution for, has never changed. Every day you always have enemies, or the enemies who say, I was listening to one religious leader. He was saying that, oh, there are witches and wizards. Who says that there are not? And then he's telling them that every night that that these people fly to meetings. And what is their meeting? To stop you from progressing. And then with this kind of, something in our head, and is it only in Africa that witches and wizards? Is it only in Africa that you have witches and wizards? They have witches and wizards in America. They have them in Russia. They have witches and wizards in China. They have witches and wizards in India. They have them everywhere. Why is it here that our own witches and wizards? I don't just get it. So the second solution is to for us to think in terms of entrepreneurial and skill-based education. If you are listening to this and then from any part of Africa or Caribbean or the Pacific, and you are responsible for developing curriculum for schools, I plead with you, change the curriculum to include leadership, to include entrepreneurship, to include skills. Because people are coming out of the university with certificates, dumb certificates, powerless certificates. People have certificates, 4 years, 5 years. They're doing nothing with it. You have certificate, and then what has that certificate done for you? Was it 2 years ago, one young man took his certificates and then cut all the certificates he got from the university and from school, cut them up and then burnt them. I think that was extreme, but I think he made the point. Useless. You spent millions going through school. You come out just with certificate, no skills. So I find graduates who are unemployable, and I'm in the know because I have been in positions to recruit. You find somebody first class, second class, upper. You can't, no skill, unemployable. You can't even have them even for free. Okay, so you need to embrace personal development, entrepreneurship, learn skills. You are just one skill away from financial freedom. One skill away. I know someone who is involved in cybersecurity. The guy is made. He's made forever. Cybersecurity. So if you learn some tech skill today, you learn some cyber security, you learn even trading, you learn about the financial markets, you learn about, get skills. Sometimes, practical skill, things you can do with your hand. There are agricultural skills, there are mechanical skills, even a skill as basic as learning to repair phones can make you financially free. Do you know how many hundreds of millions of phones there are? And in your own country, millions and millions of phones. Phones break down every day. They need to be repaired and all kinds of things, troubleshoot and things like that. Learn skills. Then, number 3, faith with works. Religion is such a big problem for Africans. Religion and poverty are 5 and 6. Because the things that we are being taught, and those things, I sit down and I listen to some messages and I say, oh my goodness, there's no way people will succeed hearing this sort of stuff every single day. Whoa. I was by somewhere and then one church was blaring their sermons from microphone. I heard this. God is my witness. I'm not making it up. And the guy was telling them, you do not need qualification to become the MD of a company, to become the MD of a bank. You do not need qualification to become the MD of to become this. He said, you don't need qualification, that the blood of Jesus qualifies you. My God. And there are tens of thousands of people who attend that church. And that massive audience, and all of them were shouting, amen. You do not need qualification. You don't need to grow yourself, to develop yourself, because the blood of Jesus qualifies you. How can you make progress? And I looked at all of them. I said, no wonder these people are terribly poor. It's the sort of thing you would listen to. every Sunday. Where in the world are you going? And every day you hear that there's enemy, or your enemy, fall and die, fall and die. If that is what you listen to every time, look at all the people doing those fall and die prayers. Look at all of them. Very poor, extremely poor. But every day, enemy. So religion is a big problem. I wish you could have personal relationship with God. I wish you could listen to God. I wish you could study the scriptures by yourself, because the things you're hearing will kill you. They will make you poor. Okay? Number 4, we're talking about solutions now. So number 4, seek mentorship instead of handouts. Seek mentorship instead of handouts. I have very, very wealthy people around me. Very wealthy, like tremendously wealthy. Some of these people are already in their 90s. Extremely successful people. They have contacts all over the world. They have contacts. One of my mentors is 90. Any past or present president of this country that I want to meet, he will connect me. Anyone I want to meet, he will connect me. These people call him. There were times I would be in his presence. I don't want to mention the name. Then a particular very powerful ex-president called him, one of those occasions, called him, come now, I know you're whatever, let's find something for you and things like that. He said, I'm old, I have everything I need and things like that. So he has such contacts. When I go to him, we sit to talk. And when I go with notes. And then we sit to talk. I do not ask him for money. I do not ask him for handouts. And I do not ask him. I just want, I just want to learn from him. And I have notes. Many times I let him do all the talking. How can you be talking when a 90-year-old accomplished gentleman is talking? I just, So seek mentorship, not handouts. Successful people teach others how to fish rather than giving them fish. They like to teach you how to fish. They even like to, like someone said, that teaching you how to fish is an old paradigm, that right now, the thing is actually to give you the lake. You need to own the lake where the fishing is done, not just learning to fish, but own the lake, And then number 5, culture of mutual growth. So instead of one person succeeding and carrying the whole village, let us normalize collaborative progress. Sometimes it brings tear to my eyes, because you find there are actually some places where one person succeeds and he blocks the way for other people. Not even that the people are asking him anything, but he blocks it. It happens. It happens. One of my friends has a very wealthy and influential person in a certain part of this country. So one day, he invited my friend to his village. They went to his village, mighty mansion, and then surrounded by so much squalor. And in the whole of that massive big village, only his house had electricity. So what my friend told me was that this particular guy, that he was influential enough to have that place totally electrified. He was very influential to make it happen, to give them electricity. He was very influential enough to develop the place and things like that. So my friend called him and I said, why are you keep, that was a couple of years ago. So called him and said, Why? You're the only one who has power. You're the only one. And then all these people are coming to him, bowing and all that, rejoicing that he has come. And then he was handing something to them. He said, why don't you put electricity? Why don't you develop this place and all that? My friends, what he told them, what he told my friend sent shivers to my bone. Called him and said, listen, these people served my father. In fact, it started from his grandfather, that they served my grandfather. They served my father. They served me. He said, now, if I develop this place, develop for them, how are they going to serve my children? See what I'm telling you, that the politicians are your problems. They're the ones who should, if you must do this, your whatever, I don't want to mention it because the algorithm doesn't, they're the people you should be going after. They're the people you should be going after. Not ordinary private citizen, like yourself, like myself, who are not into these things. Okay, let's look at what your aha moments are. And let's look at your aha moments. Type your aha moments, and then if you have a question, we can also some contribution to the conversation. I will read it. Okay, so I'm looking at TikTok. Okay, and BT at Intimacy in Marriage says, beyond the certificate, get skills. Yes, I agree with you. Yao Ming says, keep talking, bro. Yep. Yao Ming says, the education system we have is not to create something or start a business, but rather to find a job. Absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. BT at Intimacy in Marriage says, many fanatics out there. Yep, unfortunately. Is creating problems, and poverty in Africa. Okay. Jodo says, greetings. I really appreciate your advice. Yeah, you're welcome. All right, so let me look at Facebook. Obatele says, but also true, we need to develop skills, but it's a matter of mathematics, of time, energy, and concentration. Oh, that's a mouthful. Okay. Obatele also says that money ritual and wizards exist. That's why people pray. Okay. All right. I hope it's working for them. Rex David says, you get a job interview and go without brushing because you think the job will wait for you regardless. The way the security man will chase you. That's funny. You say you didn't need qualifications, but their eyes were clear. Yeah, okay. Okay. Right. And then no one is owing me anything. Joseph Okechi, nice to have you as well. All right. So let's look at if the enemy take time away in spiritual warfare, you cannot have the time. We do not have the peace to develop. It's a big problem. It's impossible to kill Africans, from this. It's impossible to kill Africans, from this enemy and witchcraft and wizard problem. I don't know. I don't know how to cure it. I don't know how to cure it. I don't know how to cure it. But the least problem of human beings are witches and wizards. The least, even for you as an unbeliever in God. Because for me, for instance, that's the least of my problems. They fear me. I'm not the one who fears them. And then if you're a witch or wizard listening to me, you can confirm. They fear me. I'm not the one. I do not have time to pray about witches and wizards. No. No. They fear me. I have better things to do. The time I used to waste on witches and wizards, the type you people pray, The time I used to waste praying that kind of prayer, I will use it to praise God. I will use it to thank Him. I will use it to learn, to study His Word. Why waste time? Witches and wizards. Somebody, I finished a television program once, and then somebody asked me asked me a question. He said, "Sir, do you do midnight prayers?" I said, what's that about?" She said, no, it's the guy. So he said, "No, you do midnight prayers because that is the time that the witches and wizards fly, that you do midnight prayers between 12 and 2 a.m. That's so stupid. I don't know who teaches people these things. Now, that's the time they fly. So you need to now stay awake and then fight them. Absolute ridiculous nonsense. So what I answered him was, if the God I serve, he said, that is the time I sleep. So if the God I serve cannot watch over me when I'm sleeping, I have to wake up to fight witches and wizards, then what kind of God is that one? Me, the time that the sleep is sweet, 12 to 2. That's actually when your body, see, the devil is a liar, big liar. That's even when your body regenerates. Within that time, that's when your body enters a sleep cycle where you regenerate the cells, where no wonder many of you are sick. And then you are there. Oh, witches, wizard, all the witches and wizards flying above my house. Nonsense. Why would they even come near me? There was a time Jesus and his disciples were walking, along the street or something. And then he looked up in the spirit, and then he sensed the thing in the spirit. He said, "Listen, the prince of the power of the air is coming, and he has nothing in me. Come, let's go." So the problem is not witches and wizards. The problem is you. Do you have what belongs to witches and wizards in your life? Are you still a fornicator? Are you a thief? Are you a liar? Are you cheating people in your office? Then witches and wizards will deal with you because you belong to them. They have something with you. You have something that belongs to them in you. So they will come. Why can't people why can't your pastors tell you the truth? They come to you because they have something in you. I think they don't have anything. What fellowship does light have with darkness? What in the world are they coming to me for? And I've been saying it everywhere, right from the time I was in secondary school. I've been telling it, witches and wizards, and some of you are listening, you hear, and they know. Why is it that they can't get me, but they can get you? Why is it I don't stay awake 12 midnight praying to 2? And then they haven't done anything and can't do anything. Why would I waste energy on things, beings, entities lower than me, far lower than me, witches and wizards, under my feet? Behold, I give you power to tread upon serpents and scorpions and over every power of the enemy, and nothing shall by any means hurt you. Is it that I doubt God? When he says, he who is in me is greater than he who is in the world. And then you want me to stay awake 12 midnight to 2, praying for people, for things under my feet. You people should go and rest with this your witches and wizards thing. That's why people are poor. The only answer to witches and wizards is, if you belong to God, take your hands away from evil. Take your hands away from evil. How can you be praying witches and wizards and you're a fornicator? How can you be praying against witches and wizards and you're a thief? You're a liar. You're doing Yahoo. You don't tell your spouse the truth. You don't tell your friends the truth. You don't honor God in the way you talk. Why won't witches and wizards deal with you? But if you belong to God, he said, look, God knows those who belong to him. He said, let anyone who names the name of the Lord depart from iniquity. And then all those people leading your prayers, and then behind, they are sleeping with people who are not there, whatever. I know. And then they come and deceive you, witches and wizards. No, it's not witches and wizards. The problem is you. You do not belong to God. You profess him only in your mouth. You don't know God. You don't know him. That's why many of you Nigerians, you know more about the devil, about the way the devil works, about the way about witches and wizards than you know about Christ. Isn't that a travesty? You know more about the devil and his ways and his agents and how they fly at night. But we ask you something simple about the holiness of God, about the attributes of God. You don't know God, but you know the witches and wizards so well. I beg, you people should rest with this thing. Okay. Ehisco says, did you believe that is Christ or you know there is Christ, sir? I don't think I understand that question. You said that there is no supreme being anywhere. All right. I hope that works for you. No problem. Um, many things you can find out. You don't, if you don't want to find it out when you are alive, you will find it, you will find it out later, and by then it's too late. So whatever you choose to believe, it is fine. Okay. But I really feel sorry. I really feel sorry, for people who don't believe, that there's God, and who don't believe that there's a righteous and just God to whom every human being would answer, no matter what your religion is. And God is not interested in religion because God is not a religious God. He made you in his image. And so what happened? He made us because you believe you just appeared, big bang, and then the stars, whatever, and light, and then something happened and then put you together. You became what you are. That's how you came. So there is no God. Good luck to you. Good luck to you. But one day every knee will bow and every tongue will confess, and everybody, man and woman, boy, girl, everyone that has been created will give an account. You will give an account. If people knew that they will give an account, if they truly believed and knew it, we will not do certain things. We will not live the way we are living. But you think you just live the way you live, the way you want to live, and then you're not going to answer questions? Good luck to you. When we die, that is just the beginning. That's just the beginning. You're not a physical body. You're actually a spiritual being having a physical experience. So you're not going to die. The real you will not die. So guys, get used to it. The real you will not die. So all these things people are going around doing, committing all kinds of crimes, you read the papers and then you see online all the atrocities people are committing in Anambra State, in different places. You kidnap people, you go out there and chop human beings in pieces, sell their parts, do all kinds of things. And then you're telling me that you will not answer question. You're kidding me. You're deluding yourself. You will answer questions. Everybody will answer questions. What you did while you were in this body. So it's okay if you don't believe that there is God. It's okay. But okay, I wouldn't envy you. All right. Any more aha moments? Any more aha moments? Any aha moments? Okay, type your aha moments. Any aha moments today? What are you walking out of today's session with? Your aha moments. All right. So let me summarize. Okay, so Some Tochukwu says, I am master of my fate, the captain of my soul. Okay, I recognize those lines in Invictus. Anjideka says the very first step in financial success is taking personal responsibility. And I think that's a very, very good place to bring tonight's coaching session to a very good landing. And indeed, it's a beautiful way to round off the coaching sessions for this week. And as before, we will continue on Monday. So our coaching sessions are Monday to Friday, 8 p.m. GMT. All right. And so whatever happens, ladies and gentlemen, keep showing up because you have no idea what's coming your way next. And I'll see you same time, same place on Monday evening. You have a wonderful weekend.